The Formula One 2024 Mexico City Grand Prix qualifying just finished up. I'm here to go over all the important moments. Let's get started with Q1. Not a whole lot happened here. It was pretty uneventful Q1. The main thing in Q1 that happened, though, was Perez was out, which isn't too much of a surprise, but Oscar Piastri, who got his first lap deleted, could not improve on his second lap and joined Perez down in the deep, dark depths of fucking Q1 exits. Tough one from him. Ocon had a chance to knock out Stroll, but he's too soy, couldn't get it, and lost it in the last sector. Uneventful otherwise, other than some of the lower constructors getting mixed up in the top of the grid, like Gasly. I think he was in like third or fourth after Q1, and both Haas in the top 10. Leclerc was in the drop zone for most of the session, but he did have enough to improve. I think he got his time deleted as well, like Oscar. He did improve on his last lap and got through. Lando set pole lap before everyone did their last run, so he didn't need to make a final run, and I imagine he saved a set of tires for that, which he didn't end up needing in the end. But finishing out Q1, Guan Yu Zhou, Esteban Ocon, Sergio Trash, especially at home, Perez, Oscar Piastri somehow, Franco Colapinto, and Valtteri. Actually, Valtteri got through. Never mind. Franco Colapinto was the last one to get exit in Q1. Tough one for him. He has been doing pretty well, but Mexico's a tough track, and I'm sure he's relatively new here. So, moving into Q2, Verstappen sets a very solid first lap, and Leclerc's first lap got deleted. Lando set his first lap and was up zero point 0.3 on Max. And Q2 ended with 10 seconds left on the clock while many were still in their final run because Yuki Tsunoda kamikazed it into the wall, crashed out, and ended the session before we could get the final runs in. So that left a lot of people kind of out on an island, including Lawson, Alonso, a lot of these guys. So Q2 exits are Boas, Lance Stroll licking windows, Fernando Alonso, unfortunately for his 400th race, Liam Lawson in 12th, and Yuki Tsunoda in 11th. Yuki just ended up crashing because he just wanted to make sure he qualified ahead of Lawson. So moving into Q3, Max sets a massive lap on his first run, almost a 6/10 up on Norris's first run. Both Ferraris come through with Leclerc over Norris and Sainz getting an amazing time and taking provisional pole. And as soon as Sainz came over, Max's first time got deleted for track limits. So the pressure was on. Going into the final runs, we had both Ferraris on the front row, Merckx 3 and 4, Norris in 5th, Gasly, Albon, Hulk, Magnussen, and Max rounding out the bottom. So final runs, Ferrari goes first. Leclerc ends up behind Lando. Carlos sets an amazing time, a sub 16-second time, fastest of the weekend, takes pole position. Max comes through. I think Max went through first, actually. I think it was Max and then, oh no, I think Ferraris went first. So Ferraris went first. Max came through afterwards. He set his pole, he set his lap here just behind Sainz. Lando comes through, cannot do enough to get in front of Max somehow, and ends up coming in third. And this is just a nightmare scenario for Lando and Norris now. Now he's going to have to get past Max. Not only is he going to have to try to beat him down to turn one, but he's also going to, if he can't get past him on the turn one, going to have to try to get past him all race again. I mean, I imagine he'll be able to get past at some point relatively early because we saw last time he had the pace to get past once he caught up. If he would have just given the position back last race and tried to pass again, he probably would have had many opportunities. So I don't think it's going to be a scenario where he can't catch up, but I mean, Max has pulled the Red Bull up into Q3 and into second when Perez obviously couldn't do anything even close, even though he's at home, all this and that going for him. Still, absolute dog shit time. Almost a full second off Max, 9/10 off Max in Q1, or was it? No, it was over a second off in Q1. Yes, or no, sorry, it was 8/10 off in Q1 for Max to Perez. So I don't think Lando's going to have too much of a problem keeping up. I do think though that I did predict Carlos Sainz to win, so I thought that it was going to be Lando, Max, and then Carlos in third. I predicted Carlos to move up on that first lap or the first turn while Lando is trying to defend against Max. But we won't have that scenario now. If Carlos gets a good jump man and he gets out and can get himself a little bit of a lead, the Ferraris have been really good on race pace and really good on tires. He can take this thing the whole way and not even lose the lead. I don't think. I think it's definitely possible for him if he can get a good run into turn one, maintain the lead. I think he'll have no problem. If you get behind Max, it's going to be a bit of an issue because he's going to be defending everything till the end. But Yeah, it's going to be tricky, man. I kind of have a feeling maybe we'll have some contact between Max and Lando maybe into turn one. I kind of also feel like Leclerc might move up a couple spots on the first lap, maybe go behind Carlos, and we see a Ferrari 1-2 again. That's kind of how this has been with the defending. When Leclerc knows that nobody's really defending against him, it's more Lando trying to attack Max. It's going to be tricky again. Mercedes 5 and 6. So your final starting grid, we'll go through that. Carlos Sainz, as you can see, Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc in fourth, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton behind him, both the Mercedes back to back. Kevin Magnussen brings the fucking Haas up into seventh. Pierre Gasly drags the fucking boat of the Alpine up until eighth. Albon pulls the Williams up into ninth, and we get the other Haas, Nico Hulkenberg in 10th. Pretty crazy. A lot of mix up in that top 10. You love to see it, honestly. We knew Perez wasn't going to be there. We obviously thought Piastri would be, but Ocon with his shit lap down in 19th, looking real bad from Gasly. Thank God they got rid of him and not Gasly because Ocon's absolute dog shit. So yeah, that's cute. That was qualifying. Not too eventful, other than Yuki Tsunoda's crash ending the one session. That kind of was, again, just a bit anticlimactic, just like George Russell last week. But really good look from the Ferraris. The 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 McLarens were the best in FP3, I believe, on the top row back to back. But yeah, Ferrari's been good all weekend. Max has not had practically any laps all weekend, man, and ends up pulling it out and gets into second place. I mean, you can't really ask for much better than that. You get ahead of Lando Norris. That's about all you can ask for in qualifying or in the race. So, amazing stuff from him. Lando, a worse lap in Q3, or a little bit only a little bit better lap. Not as much of an improvement here. I mean, as you can see, Max goes up almost 4 tenths. Lando a half a tenth. That's not going to cut it. Carlos Sainz up almost 6 tenths in that final qualifying session, that final lap. All the pressure's on, and Lando, who we've seen be pretty good in qualifying, just couldn't pull it out today. So I don't know. Let me know what you think's going to happen in the race tomorrow. At this point, I do think I'm going to say, just without any caveats, that I do think Carlos Sainz will win the race. But the main caveat is if he can get the lead out of turn one and not lose it on that first lap, I think he's gone. I think he's gone. The time that Lando's going to lose having to get around Max if he can't do it in the first turn is going to let Carlos build up enough of a gap, and their race pace and tire usage has been so good recently that I don't think he'll have any problem keeping the lead. So I do think Carlos Sainz will end up winning this. Um, there's no reason Lando should not be able to get past Max. The car's way better. The race pace is better. The tires are better. We saw from last week if you go to the stats. There's no reason he shouldn't be able to get past. I guess we'll see what happens. I do think Leclerc might get past them, maybe up into second, and the Ferraris might just fuck off into the distance again. But I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'll be back with a race recap after the race, and yeah, we'll see what happens. Peace.